I'm Vin,
And I'm Evan.
and we're the Cashflow Bros.
Goal is to get John to buy his first home this year.
That's right. Let's go, baby. This is gonna be our guinea pig right here.
We have a master on the other side that can help us get there. And if anything, I want John to join your Springboard program next. So this is all about empowering. Yeah. So with that, let's just roll. How you feel?
Let's get into it. Well, I kind of want to start off a little bit, kind of be like Thach's wingman, like we're going out to the club, introduce him real quick, to the girls here and all that. But
let's go. Only here on Cashflow Bros.
Yeah, but Mr. Thach Nguyen, the Bird King, a little cold out here right now, but man, I think it's an amazing story from where you came from as a Vietnamese refugee, all the way to the North Pacific West, coming up with $100 in your pocket to your name. And living in this palace, you called it, but it was like a shack, but you called it a palace because it was the first house you guys were in. And to being the real estate mogul and media mogul that you are today. We're excited to have you and talk to you. But thanks for coming on to the show, man.
My pleasure, bro. My pleasure. Anytime, man, I get an opportunity to share my story with the Vietnamese people, I'm all for it because, our older generation, which is our parents, they're all about, keep your business low key.
Right.
I'm with you. Don't brag, right? Don't tell everybody your business because, it sounds like you're bragging. It sounds like, you know what I mean? That, you don't want nobody, robbing you and all that kind of stuff. And that's a scarcity, massive mindset that came from Vietnam.
Or know what you do. They're afraid of you. They're stealing your trade or something.
Right. You know what I mean? And there's going to be people that's coming up, you know what I mean, that have that old mentality that will steal your trade. Mm-hmm. I had that happen. You know what I mean? I was helping a young Vietnamese dude, in Seattle, you know what I mean? And I taught him, man, a lot of stuff. Right. And then he went behind my back and started stealing my people and stealing my contractor. And then, started doing his own thing. I would rather have home. He come to me and go, Thach, you know what, man? I learned a lot, and I want to go on my own now, right? You think it's cool, man? Go for it. I'm not trying to train nobody to keep underneath my wing forever. I want you to fly, but man, you came about it the wrong way because that's that scarcity mindset.
Don't burn your bridges from that story. But what we recognize, Thach, and that's why we're so glad and we're so grateful for having you on Cashflow Bro, is that. For all the listener and people that are watching this episode, been following you on TikTok. You're the only 52 years old I know with 2 million followers or subscriber that doesn't dance. That doesn't dance.
And Vietnamese, man.
Let's go. And speaking to that point, that's why I'm so freaking excited to talk to you, because as Vietnamese Americans here, we don't really get the most attention. And it's cool to see someone like you talking the way you are, diverse, and talking to all these people and helping these people. It just kind of gives me hope. Like, man, we're not just Vietnamese cats, but we can be catered to we can help the whole world, and it's cool to see some guys like you, like talk like you and kind of do your thing.
And for me, it's hitting a different way. For someone like you, so successful, and people gravitate to you because you're so raw, right? You talk about big dream and you follow up with action and execution and how you're getting there. And you don't just do it. You're showing everyone everything, all the details. And like you say earlier, it's very normal to our culture to be open up like this. And I'm so glad you're here. And for listener to this episode, man, you guys in for a treat.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of get into it, because I think a lot of our people who are watching this, they might know you. Some might not. But right now, you have so many things going on within the real estate game. You've got your real estate business, and then you also got your Springboard to Wealth, which is helping all these people. And I think the common theme that I keep seeing that when I'm looking at all your content is you're helping people throughout your whole life. I remember looking at YouTube and I seen this video about the American dream, how you were, already starting off giving people low market rent and buying all these properties, giving them low market rent so they can get a foot through the door and save some money so they can start buying their start buying their own property later on. Can you kind of go through that and talk about like that little experience that you had early on?
Yeah, for a lot of people that don't know, when I was about 5 years old in 1975. I was born in 1970 in Vietnam. In 1975, I was about 5 years old. My dad, he was a translator, and he worked for the U.S. Military. And when the U.S. military heard that the Vietnamese communists is taking over South Vietnam, then the troop was going to pull out. And so his boss said, you should leave with us to the U.S. Otherwise, you and a lot of people, especially the fathers, you're not going to make it. You know what I mean? And so my dad decided to come home, picked all of us up, and we left on the last plane with the U.S. troop to leave, and we landed in California. My mom, my dad, 4 brothers and a sister. We had $100, 1 suitcase. We left everything back. We even left a lot of my, all my aunties and all my, uncles and cousins. They all got left back. You know what I mean? And so when we landed in California, we was staying in the shelter there at Camp Pennington. They used that as a shelter for a few months. Then we got shipped up to Washington State, up in Seattle. We stayed in Camp Murray, the other barracks, for a few months. And so when my dad got on his feet, we moved into this 2-bedroom, 1-bath house over in Rainier Valley. And that's where all the minority live today, right? Rainier Valley. And we made that home. And the reason why I said that it was a palace to us, because one, if anybody knows everyone's gone to Vietnam and you live in the countryside, those houses ain't that pretty, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you live in the barracks, the military barracks, it ain't that much better. Right. So when you got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with a basement house, even though it got cracked windows, it's still a big house. And so we made it home. And then my dad became a social worker. Yeah. And throughout his year being a social worker, he started helping a lot of the Vietnamese people come to Seattle and get situated into welfare. And so when my dad passed away from cancer in 2007, there was probably 1,000 people that came to his funeral. Wow, and everybody came up and talked about his eulogy, and they all talked about how much my dad helped a lot of people.
That's a great legacy right there.
A lot of people don't even know that my auntie, she had the ability to do translating. She has the ability to translate mấy người tiền to come through you, right? And I asked my aunt, you know what I mean? And when there's a thing that was speaking through her, I asked her, why you take my dad so early? And then they said that because your dad is getting old. He's, in his late 60s, and he's leaving early so he can give you the baton so you can go help other people. Wow. And so that was in 2007 when he left, and that's when I really got really serious about my focus on taking the baton and really making a big impact in honor of my dad. And that's how I became, I would say, that's when I actually took it more serious. And that's when I realized really that's my bigger purpose down here than just doing real estate.
Wow.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Let me share with you the other sides of that story, because our family arrived to the U.S. in a similar situation, but you're the first phase, and your dad became the social worker, and we're the recipient to that hard work that the social worker did. We arrived later, and with no English, no money. We rely everything on the social worker, and they the one that helped us settle in a place, give us clothes, give us food, man. And you're never gonna forget those moments. And thank you for that. Thank you, your dad, Thach, and then you guys. I've been following your story. It has been touching me every time I watch those stories. Yeah, man. I think this is so crucial because, our audience are a lot of first-time entrepreneurs and trying to get out of the rat race. And I think people like you helping them is gonna keep going, right? It creates that legacy that you were saying with your dad, right? I think it's so relatable because if you can do it with the circumstances that you were in, talking about that, it's just only going to inspire all these other people that aren't in that situation to continue to grow. And
the thing is, since you're on this topic right now, anybody can do it. Right. I graduated from high school. I'm not saying this to brag or say to people, don't don't do what I do. But I graduated with, in high school with 2.83 GPA. So I wasn't the smartest kid in the block. But the difference was I just wanted to be a hustler, an entrepreneur.
Right.
And sometimes we're not threaded the same way as a kid that come out of Harvard.
Yeah.
But I would take a kid or a teenager that has hustle and less academic than someone who has high academic and have no hustle in him.
I'm glad you're starting to talk about this because I'm really excited to get into this and kind of the genesis of how you started. I mean, I saw that you started in real estate pretty early when you're 19 or is it 20?
21.
21, right?
The youngest.
You're doing it for 3 years. And I saw that, you were making money, but you weren't really making real money until you started to get that mentor. And then from there, how did that all kind of play a part?
When I started in 1991, I was 21 years old, and I was just doing about 2 or 3, 4 deals a year when I was 21 and then 22, 23, 24. So my first 3 years, I was only doing anywhere between 2 and 5 deals a year, which is pretty much most
Average.
Right.
average realtor does.
Right.
And then, my friend Mike Ferry, shout out to Mike Ferry, right? He was the first person that said to me, look, you got to run this business like a real business. And you got to have a department where you do sales and a department where you do transaction. Most agents only do transaction. They don't really do anything to go find deals, right? And so he said, you got to spend time prospecting and finding seller, not buyer. You got to be the person controlling the inventory.
Yeah.
And so he said, there's 2 groups of people when you go out and prospect. People you know, people you don't know. Which one is bigger? The people you don't know. Good. Spend 80% of your time here, 20% of your time here, because these people already know you. You got to go find more biz over here. And so for me, it clicked on me. And I spent probably the first 10 years of my career from 1994 when I met Mike Ferry, consistently 5 days a week for 10 years straight. I would cold call and door knock 100 doors a day, 5 hours a day for like 10 years straight looking for seller. And that's how I built myself. And I trained myself to be a good listing agent. I trained myself to have good sales skill. I trained myself to have a good, strong mindset to never stop when people say no, when they slam the door on me. And I trained myself how to be, a great salesperson and asking a lot of questions. Because you work with seller, you got to ask a lot of questions. And then I just built my real estate just from that into a listing agent doing like 150 deals a year early in my career.
So people like you who did tons of door knocking, or the people are doing tons of cold calling, there's something else that you have that a lot of newer agents that don't have. That is the power to motivate, the power to persuade people. Can you share some of that stories, and how do you successfully negotiate some of these deals from a no to a yes?
Yeah. I think the first thing is when I started, I didn't have a lot of sales skill or persuasion. What I had was determination on why I was doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay. That is to me more stronger than someone who has slick sales skills, NLP sales skills or anything. For me, from day one when I started, I wanted to retire my mom and dad from working.
That's a big why.
That was my number one goal, making a lot of money. Matter of fact, I just sent my mom to Vietnam yesterday. You know what I mean? She's going to be over there for 30 days. And she just landed yesterday. She called me. She set, I'm wiring money for her right now so she can stay over there. She's set. That is why I want to make money. I don't want my mom and dad, when my dad passed away now, I don't want them to have to worry about money. And so my number one, Evan, was I had a clear why I'm doing it. So anytime someone says no, I get back up and I ask a better question. I get back up and I knock on the next door. I get back up and I show another house. So that's one. What happened was, as I was going through being a salesperson, I realized that if someone says no to me and I didn't know how to handle the objection,
right,
then I realized, I have to learn how to master that next time that happened again. Because in real estate, as a realtor, there's only about 10, 20 same objection over and over and over.
Yep.
And so my mentor said to me, write down all the objections that you get over and over and over. I want you to write out 3 to 5 ways how to handle this objection and have it memorized. So next time when someone says it, you have an answer for it. And that's how I built my sales skill from there.
That's huge, man. That's huge because as a younger agent myself, I mean, I've been doing real estate for a while now, but it took me a while to kind of figure out what's the system here, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're right. It all kind of is the same objection. And if you don't have that also the why, when you get that rejection, man, you're just going to you're going to give up, man. And
you don't have the why, you don't want to do what it takes to improve your sales skills.
Right.
Exactly. And it's all in the mindset. Like
Right.
you have the mindset of a champion. I think at VNARP, we gave you the title of heavyweight champion. At one point, we had a glove with all the signature, all the boxing gloves, and we gave it to you. And mainly because you have the mindset of a champion who doesn't afraid to get knocked down and get right back up. Can you talk about mindset a little bit? Back then and then your mindset now.
To me, mindset back then was survival.
Right.
I need to make money. Mindset today is how I can inspire and empower billions of people across the world and show them that, hey, if I can do it, right, they can do it. That's why if you know on my social media is very different from everybody else, if you notice. I share my story and what I'm doing on social media.
Yep.
Everybody else, they don't share. They tell them something, they sell them something. But every post you notice is strategically showing people what I'm doing, what I'm learning, what I made a mistake on yesterday. And so it's a journey of me going to where I'm going. And on my way going to my own goals, I want to inspire and empower billions of other people that says, I'm stuck. I don't have the sales skill. I failed yesterday, right? How do I get back up? And so when they watch my video, everybody can relate because everything I share is real and raw, like you said, Evan, because they can relate to me. And that's why people are attracted to me, because I'm just being me. I'm not telling people what to do that I'm not doing. And so again, I call that mindset. And so when I started again, my mindset was to make money so I can have money to eat. And I wanted to help my mom and dad retire. And when you got that crystal clear on why you're doing what you're doing, then to me, you're never going to stop, because I put it this way. I use this example, and I think anybody can relate to this. When my dad asked me to come over to his house and he showed me a piece of paper he had cancer, he don't have insurance. Most people don't have insurance for cancer. And so that was when I realized I'm blessed, because I made money and now I can pay for all the chemo for my dad and take him to any hospital he needed to take him to, right? And that is what I try to tell people. If your mom and dad was sick or had cancer and they needed money to pay for it, would they door knock 100 doors today? And I think the answer would be yes. Would they swim across the lake to get to the other side and get the money? And the answer is yes. They have to think and correlate. Why are they making money? Why they want to be successful?
Survival.
It's beyond us. Always beyond us. At the beginning, it's for us because we need to have enough money to pay the bill, pay the rent, and eat. But beyond that, it's outside of us after that.
That's real powerful stuff, Thach. It goes back to the why. And I kind of want to get into this a little bit, but I think, definitely the why is important. But, I see the education part of it too, because you're the only guy, like you were saying, doing what you're doing, showing the journey, showing all this. And when I think about it, I see you, I call you the king of the whiteboard, because you got the Alex Hermosis, you got the Ryan Pinedas, they're just talking at you, telling you what to do, kind of doing. But you're actually whiteboard right here, writing everything down. Every video you got, it's a whiteboard right here, right?
No, listen. And those numbers a real project, real deal, real number.
Yeah, man. I mean, talking about that, like how did you find, like, how did you educate yourself and like, how are you learning all this stuff to put it out there?
Well, first of all, the reason why people don't share all the detail because they have a scarcity mindset.
Right.
If I share it, people what I'm doing in Seattle, for example, then everybody's going to go after it and do the same thing.
Right.
Number one, that could be very true. But also what I do know that's true, that human beings need a lot of motivation. And so they might know what to do, but they won't do what they know.
That's right.
And so I never get scarcity like they're going to do it, right? They're going to take my business. No, because a lot of them, they might get started and never end. Right? Or they know it, but they won't do it. So I don't get worried about it. But what I realized for me was, one of my teachers said to me, the reason why, he's one of my meditation teacher. He said, the reason why your light is bright is because you don't have a problem sharing everything about yourself, even your failure. And said, don't stop that. Just share it. And so I always took that, and he's still my mentor, my friend today. And so that's why when I learned that from my friend, that's why I don't have a problem sharing what I buy, how I financed it, how I do it, because I think that that's my way to inspire others. And that's why you know there's a lot of people out there, like you mentioned, they don't talk about deals.
Right.
They talk about strategy. They talk about tactic, but they never talk about, right? I talk about strategy and tactic. And I say, well, let me show you this house that I'm doing right now, or this property I'm doing right now. Let's walk it and you see how we did it.
Right.
Yeah. Now you're one of the first guys I've seen. You straight up film yourself going up to the door and knocking on it.
No, but,
Hey,
but
there's a real door, and the reason why I cut it off before they start talking, because Loren, we go knocking together, and so when we go door knocking, he do this, right? And then as soon as they get talking, he just put the phone down because we don't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
but still, it shows that you're out there making it work. You're taking action.
No, but speaking of sharing, though, there's benefit to that. And can you speak of some of the benefit that you've been receiving from sharing, like the deals that you might have done with some of the people that you're teaching? Yeah, can you talk some of that?
Yeah. I didn't realize that, Evan, when I started this, that when I was sharing, I just wanted to help people learn how to fish on their own.
Right.
And then what happened is that it made me become an influencer. I didn't realize that either. Man, this guy knows everything about real estate. He's smart. And again, it wasn't even like a strategy. It was like, I'm going to help people. The more I help people, the more people like it, the more they look at me as an influencer. And then what happened, when they find it, some will go to, I want to buy it, thank you. A lot of them say to me, I don't have the money on how to do it.
Right.
Could I sell it to you, or can I partner with you? And so today, I get a lot of people all across the United States that ask me, do you want to buy this? If I don't buy it, I will wholesale it to one of my students in those areas. Or if it's something I like, I will put them in the deal and I give them a percentage based on how much wholesale fee they would have got for that deal. And then, of course, they become my student.
Yeah.
And then they continue the education with me. And they just keep learning and learning and learning. And that's my coaching business wasn't even a thing where a lot of these guys come out here, they don't even do nothing. They got a million Instagram. They go, I'm going to be a coach tomorrow. You know what I mean? Right? So Springboard wasn't even something I wanted to start it. It was just because of that. So many students was like, Thach, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? After I will do what I'm doing. And from there, one student asked me to teach them. And next thing I know, I taught another student. And next thing I knew, it was something I had to put together. I brought somebody in and helped create the company, right? And then it just grew. And today we have over probably 3,000 students in my Springboard
Wow,
Store
that's
program.
fucking
I've
awesome.
only been in it for 2 years.
Thach, I really want to get into this with you because, I know you said it as unintentional, how you become an influencer and you built this following, and now basically deals come to you, right? But as a lot of our audience, like me, younger real estate agent or in the corporate world trying to get out the rat race,
Right.
how did you find those deals at the beginning when you weren't an influencer?
That's right.
What did you do? What investments were you like? Was it like a spray and pray type of thing, or was it like very calculated? Like, oh, I want to go for this one, or this is what I'm gonna go for.
Yeah. When I started real estate, it wasn't calculated. When I started, I just took a whole area, right? And this is the area that I'm gonna go door knocking and cold call and mail out. And this area is where I pretty much grew up. I knew the area. So I will go out there and find listing in this area. I will mail to them. I will call them. I will door knock. I put for sale signs on the streets. I will just do those over and over and over and over. Because back then, mailing, cold calling, and door knocking was the thing.
Yep.
Today, there's SMS, there's social media, everything.
So many tools.
And so I kept doing that. And then every time when something new comes up at the different marketing piece, I add to it. And so today, when I take a look at this area I work in still, instead of just going cold calling and door knocking everybody in there, then I can go to a software like, PropStream or the title company, and I can say, I want all the home that are in pre-foreclosure, or all the home that are distressed, all the home that are fixer in this area, give it to me. And then they will tell me all these property. And now I use all the different marketing tools today to go after those people specifically and ask them where they sell their property. And I do it. The key is you might not get the deal at the beginning, but most of the deal I get, probably 10% is like when you knock the first, second time. Yes. 80% of them is through lead follow-up over and over and over.
But until today, you're still door knocking, right?
We'll do it today.
Just in your Ferrari instead of
That's right. I door knock today. We sent out flyer. Look, these are my lists of all the homes that people are saying yes right here.
There you go, folks. You see it real time right now.
Right there. See. And so this is what these are all the hot leads, and these are the ones on my thing to do list right now. And this is what I'm going after right now.
That's freaking awesome, man. That's good to see, because especially like I keep going back to it because I'm always around all these new real estate agents and they think it can come easy, right? But they don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to go out and do the door knocking or cold calling or canvassing. So it's good to see you being successful where you at. You still in the mud. You still in the freaking battlefield.
And the thing I want people to understand is they have to master patient.
Yeah.
They have to master delay gratification.
Man, that's hard this time.
Because it doesn't happen overnight.
So let's talk about that. How do you have so many stuff going on today alone? You have so many stuff on your schedule. How do you master the skill set of staying calm, meditate, and then just tackle one thing at a time? How do you do that?
So I have a very tight schedule. Like today, I'm doing what I'm doing here. After I get done here, then I have to go shoot 5 videos for what I'm doing.
Right.
And then I have another podcast after that. And then I have a bunch of lead follow-up I got to make on top of all the different projects I'm working on. And so I have a very tight schedule, and I stick to the schedule day in, day out. That's why pretty much from 8:30 till like 4:30, 5 o'clock, it is packed jam every single day. There's no messing around in those hours.
So let me tell you what's up, man. I'm coaching some kids right now, and I see that, especially beginning of the year, everyone's starting out with high motivation, high energy, and then they started to come down, and then they're starting to get used to the habit of setting goals and not meeting it.
Yep.
And they okay with that. How do you stay elevated? How do you stay motivated? How do you stay disciplined? And the key word is discipline, right? And it's hard to hear, especially when you're like 24. It's hard to get up early in the morning and execute the first thing on your list. But how do you stay disciplined? And what are you doing teaching your kids staying disciplined too? I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. This is what I say to my kids, and this is what I say to all my students. I grade my student and my kids not on results, but on effort.
Yeah.
If you take sports, you gotta play sports. My kid played baseball. I think most kid, they will understand this. And this is why parents that I see on the baseball field where they're wrong. They yell at their kids because they didn't hit a home run. In life, it's not about the A's. It's not about the results. It's about the effort, the focus, and the determination.
Show up, do the work.
I show up, just show up and just do the work. The problem is that we've been taught early age to keep score.
Right.
If we don't win on the scoreboard 7-0, we lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell my kid, Russell Hudson, Daddy wants you got to strive for A's. Because if you get A's, when you go to college, you have better opportunities.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to punish you guys, or I'm not going to make you wrong if you got B's and C's. If you got A plus show up, A plus mindset, A plus effort, A plus hustling, you already won. Because in real life, let's be honest, once you get out of Harvard School, it comes down to effort,
Right.
hustle, right? The grit. And so what I tell the young entrepreneur today, stop keeping score. Just get in action and then just focus on, I did the action today. Because if you do the action every day, you know and I know, if you do the action with the right mindset, you're going to see results.
100%.
The problem is people do the action, they keep score, they don't see the scoreboard with any points on it. Then they start to mentally get discouraged. And then when this mindset drop, the action drop right behind it.
Yep.
That's
a good
the
reminder.
real thing. And that's what I got to tell myself also, you guys,
Yeah.
is I got to also acknowledge me. And that's why you always see me post Miracle Alert, because we got to acknowledge the miracle in the little things, not when you see only the big things.
That's right. That's a good reminder, man. I mean, yeah, you're the best example for the kids, right? Because you said it yourself, coming from a 2.8 GPA, but you got that mindset, you got that drive, and it doesn't matter if you got a 2.8 GPA or not. You're making it happen out here.
But
Bro, I'm running circles around people that are from Harvard.
Let's go, baby.
do you think that the kids now growing up, they're a lot more softer than we are, mainly because they lack of that need, they're
Hardship.
Yes, they have abundance of things. And how do you teach your sons to have that, desire to want more?
Yeah. Kids today, they grew up today, they are a little more softer for sure. And the reason why, because they can get information and they can get things instantly.
Right.
And so they're used to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But in real life, it ain't going to be like that quick. That's why they have that, me and Ben Baller said that microwave mindset.
Right.
Right? So I tell my kids that when mommy and daddy pass away, you guys are going to get a small amount of our fortune. The rest of them, we're going to put in some kind of a nonprofit and do good in the world.
Okay.
So you got to learn how to make money, guys, because when I pass away, the billions of dollars I got, it ain't all going for you two. So you make sure you got to learn it. And so if you're going to actually want to be wealthy and have all the good stuff that me and mommy had, and you got the experience at a young age, right? You got to learn how to make your money. So that's one thing I tell them. The second thing is, a lot of people don't realize this. My kids and them, they don't get a lot of freebies from me and Cammie. Like, I know a lot of people in my situation, especially the Asian family, that them parents are rich, they give their kids the Supreme, the Gucci's. You know what I mean? I know those damn kids can't afford all that shit. You know what I mean? And who do they get it from? Their parents. Because why? Because it's that lack mindset that we came from, the parents. I said, I had a hard, I don't want you to experience hardship. And my philosophy is, hell fucking no. Let them feel the hardship. Otherwise, you're taking all the learning out if they don't learn the hardship.
Because also too, the technology nowadays designed to do all the thinking for you. Like how I've been watching Netflix, and I think after one episode, right away in 5 seconds, it's automatically start the next episode for you. So it takes away the break, it takes away the thinking, and you just like keep going. You just keep going. You just and then that's what it does in the technology. The kids can go on TikTok and they just sliding by default. And they skipping all the things that, hey, I need to stop and think about what I just saw a little bit. You know what I mean? So how do you conquer that? Because you know that technology nowadays is taking away the thinking for our kids. for the younger entrepreneur? How do they capitalize on that, using that for them, not against them?
Yeah. So Cammy and I, we try to not give our kids the answer to what they are searching for. We say to them, technology's out there. Go and search it.
Right.
And find your own answer. And then come back to us and let me know what you find. But the problem I'm going to tell you guys right now, parents, they doing all the answering for the kids.
That's a problem.
Okay? Now, Jeff Bezos, I shared this story, and it's a true story, but Jeff Bezos said when he was young, he used to always go in the summertime to his dad's place, and he used to work in the barn. And he was out work helping his dad or his grandfather. I can't remember which one it was. And the grandfather said, look, Jeff, I would rather have a kid with 9 fingers who is someone who don't know how to find solution than a kid with 10 fingers that don't know how to find solution. So the problem with today's parents, again, we came from hardship. We say unconsciously, I had it hard. The reason why I'm working hard today is so that you guys don't have to experience the hardship that I went through. Mm-hmm. That's the wrong mindset. And they're doing that, and they're helping their kid by making it easy for them, giving them all the answer, letting them find the answer for themselves.
Yeah.
And when they fail, you got to let them find their own solution. It's hard because we want to jump in. And that's the problem with today is the kids can find answer. It makes them lazy. And then the parents, when they're young, they give them all the answer also on top of that. So the kid don't have to try that hard. That's why they're soft.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I think on a personal note, I definitely agree with you guys because, getting personal here, I think I'm one of those kids. My parents, Vietnamese, Asian, typical parents want to give their kids everything.
Everything.
And, I feel very fortunate because I'm in a house hacking situation that my parents helped put me in.
Right.
But I think also, like you said, because I got it that easy and I'm comfortable, I didn't really spend the time to get the tools to kind of continue and find more real estate, right? I'm comfortable. I got no bills right now because I got a house hack situation my parents put me in. So now I'm at a point in my life where is this legacy going to end where I'm at?
Right.
Right? Now I got to, thanks to my mom and dad, but now I got to find my own answers to kind of get that in there. So what I'm trying to get at is, how are you instilling that with your kids? Because I seen even from early on, you already put that in their mindset, like, yo, you need to buy these washer and dryers because this is an investment right here.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you're doing to teach your kids to avoid maybe the situation that I'm in right now to keep on working?
When my kid wanted to buy some expensive shoe now, I tell him, you got your own money. You go buy it with your own money.
Yep.
Right? And now they're thinking twice, like, shit, man, if I go spend $300, $350 on some shoes, it's going to knock down my savings account quick because we just got done with our 35-unit apartment building, and they just bought 3 sets of washing and drying machine for that building now. So they got 2 sets. Now they own washing and drying machine in 2 apartment buildings that we own, right?
Right.
And so they need to be smart with saving their money now.
Right.
And then they write goals, and once a week we review the goal when we're having dinner. We talk about it. Right. And, like right now, Russell, right? He's a junior. He's getting ready to go to college. And we're talking about, look, you're not going to play baseball when you go to college. You know that already. He says it. He's not going to be no doctor. He's not going to what you call it. He's not a 4.0 student, but he's wired like me. When he wants something, the boy just don't stop asking. So I asked him, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I asked him, do you want to do real estate with mom and dad? And he said, yes. And they've been exposed with real estate all their life with us. They want to do real estate. So I said to them, look, Russell, if you want to do real estate, I want you to go to college. But look, I'm not even attached where you go to college. I just want you to go to college and take business class, economic class, finance, and learn it deep. Mm-hmm. Come out and then come work with mom and daddy. Give you time to actually grow up a little bit more. Give you time to actually learn, on your own. Go network with people at college. But more importantly, I want you to learn deep about business and then come out and what you call it. So I'm not one of those kind of parents. You got to go to Harvard. You got to go to, UW. I don't care because if you're in business, really, you go to any college and learn business and come out and then work with us, he's gonna learn way more 20 years from now working with us with his degree than anything. So we always keep teaching our kids. We want you to teach you this because when mom and daddy dies, right? I want you and your brother to know how to fish on your own.
Yep. Keep that.
No, I like what you say right there. That you're not like other influencers on social media right now that bashing colleges.
That's why a lot of them say that, bro.
Yeah, and I kind of I don't like hearing that when I see it because I like what you say. You say let them take time to grow up.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what college does, right?
It
so
does.
I'm so glad that you say that. And I think the listener, the people have mixed feelings about colleges. Thach just say it right there. You got to go there, take your time to grow up because you know what? Business is going to be there by the time you get out.
That's right.
Absolutely. That's why listen, you already know, I already know who you're talking about. There's a lot of influencers talking about college away. Look, let's be straight about it.
Right.
You don't need to go to college to be successful. We get that.
I get it.
Right? However, I think there's a big benefit going to college. And someone might say, but it's a waste of time. If you got the money and you got the opportunity to go to college, I say go do it to give yourself time to mature,
Right.
learn about a specific topic that you want to get better at, meet great people, right? And then when you come out, hey, you got a piece of paper that if you choose not to work with mom and daddy, at least you can do something with it. But if you don't, you come work with mom and daddy, but you got both. You got a piece of paper and you got life experience with us.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I really respect that because you're right. A lot of people do hate on college these days, but really, you need time to grow and learn. I kind of want to switch gears with you a little bit, Thach, because fast forward to today. I think I never heard of Burr before until you came along. I feel like you're like the Burr king. So, when I see you, I'm always like, first thing that comes to mind, I'm Mr. Burr. It's cold in here. It's Burr right here. So, I kind of want to get into like, how did you come up on this strategy? How did you 10x this to where you're at today? Because, man, I feel like nobody was really talking about it. It wasn't really sexy. Even real estate investing wasn't really sexy back then. So, talk about that a little bit.
When I started real estate, as a realtor, I was making money. And then, of course, my mentor said, you got to learn how to own real estate if you want to be wealthy. Because selling real estate make you rich, but owning real estate make you wealthy for life.
That's right.
Right? And you can retire, and you can do a lot of things. You can work when you want to work, where you want to work, however you want to work with, right? And so in my early career, I would just buy a house already done. That's nice. And then I put 20% down. The problem was you run out of money fast.
Right.
Right? And then what happened was I started buying fixer-upper. And I didn't even realize I was burning. I bought fixer-upper, right? And then I sold it, right? And I made big money on those, but I still didn't burn. I was just buying, fixing, and flipping. And I got, good at learning how to fix houses. But I still didn't own a lot of the fixer. I was buying stuff already done. Didn't think about it. And then what happened was I started building new construction. And I was building it to sale also when I was young. Because I was all about the microwave mindset. I want that money now, right? And then only, I would say, I started realizing and talking to my mentor, Saul, that, look, you're getting older, right? If you want to really have $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in passive income, you got to start owning these property. And only then, when I realized it clicked on me, I didn't own more property. How do I get to $25,000 a month in passive income with the money I was making? It wasn't enough money.
Yeah.
And I realized there, from all my experience of flipping houses and building houses, when I did that, I had built-in equity. What if I could actually do that and kept it? And throughout learning about banking, they said if you had an equity, that could be your down payment. So any down payment you put down originally, it will go back to you, and we'll use your equity as your down payment. And that's when I realized, damn, I can use my equity at the beginning to take down the property. And when I create 25, usually got to be at least 25 because bank always give you either 70% LTV or 75% LTV when you refi, right? If I had that kind of equity, I will get all my original down payment back out. I have no money invested. I have 25% for the bank, so they can be satisfied. It cash flow better because the loan is lower. They have equity, right? Then I take the money, I did it again, and that's how I got to parlay to do more deal with the same amount of money over and over and over. And that's how it became what I did. And all of a sudden I started doing it. Burr been out forever. And all of a sudden I just started saying Burr on social media, and everybody and their mama started talking about Burr after that.
Yeah, man. I feel like you guys are the first one.
No, but what's really crazy about this is that Thach is so smart at Bird. He also timed it perfectly because you've been through 4 different cycles,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So a lot of people know how to work on the way up, but not many know how to capitalize on the way down. And you got the playbook to do so. At what point in your career that you figured out that playbook, and which cycle did it that you figured it out?
Man, that's a good question. So today I know there's this thing called a 10-year cycle.
Yep.
And the 10-year cycle basically saying that every 7 to 10 year, the market peak. And when it peak, there's a lot of reasons why it peaks. Like right now, it's peaking because it peaked, right? Because government was giving out free money.
Printing,
right?
yeah.
And people overspending. So what did the government do? Right? Behind, nobody knows. Government stepped in and go, we need to slow down this real estate machine. Right? Because they know that the real estate machine is the machine that goes first, everything follow.
Right.
So we need to slow this economy down. What do? Slow down the buying. So they raise interest rate. They pull the lever, cause interest rate go up. The more they cause the interest rate go up, everybody stop buying. Real estate stopped buying. When people stopped buying real estate, the car business died down, the furniture business died down, the restaurant business died, everything died, traveling died down.
You saw this one coming though, right? You saw this one coming. All right.
Yes. Right. Because we went 10-year hard, you know what I mean? And now the government has a balancing act.
Yeah.
Is shit, they gotta get the economy going again.
Right.
And so what they do right now, they're timing it. They just slowly dropping the throttle a little at a time, to get some what I call consumer confidence to go back and spend a little bit of money. But they're still dealing with unemployment, dealing with everything, right? So it's okay. And what happened is that they know that in order to get this economy going again, they got to get the real estate machine running.
Yeah.
So they're slowly playing with it. But here's what I hear from a lot of my economists, friend. Let me backtrack before I say that. We go through 10 years. And then what happened, it takes 2 years to correct.
Right.
That's why it's called the 10-year cycle. 10 year, and in 2 years we correct and go again. 2022 was the first correction.
Yeah.
It was the worst. Peak
Yeah.
interest rates at in the 7. 2023 is the second year of correction. Right? So by 2024, who knows? It'll be the first quarter, the second quarter, but 2024 and forward is where you're going to see the new 10-year cycle running again. Okay? And so right now, we know that we're going through the second correction. But if people got money, if they buy now, they can get a good deal on the house. So they get the deal. And then when the rates go back down 24, 25, they can all refi. And so the argument everybody says, it's the bad time to buy. I say to people, are you focusing on interest or are you focused on the deal? Because you do the math, okay? In the peak market, you guys know in your area, people are paying 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 grand over asking.
All day.
Yep.
Let's just say 100 grand over. If you use interest rate back then, say at the lowest, 3.5, and today it's 6.5, the spread is 3%. If the interest rate is going to drop down again somewhere in the 4 in the next 2 years, in 2 year interest, in the gap between 3.5 and 6.5 is still less than paying 100 grand, 200 grand over asking price. So today, when I get a property for 100 grand, 15%, 20% lower than what it was, I don't mind paying 6.5 only for 2 year window.
Yeah.
Because I can refi. Because that extra interest is so little compared to the amount of money I'm saving on buying the deal.
Yeah.
So
And
you
that's
gotta
why
factor in the
today it's a
phone
better deal to buy because interest rate's high. Interest rate's high.
So that transitions to the obvious questions. What are you doing right now today? We're about the bottom or mid of the first quarter of 2023. What are you doing right now? What are you watching and what are you buying?
Yeah. Right now, what I notice this. The home that's already nice, they still have some room to come down.
Yep.
I see that. Okay? Depending on what area, even in your area, I see from talking to my student, open houses like in the 50s and 60 people coming through today.
It's coming back. Yep.
So depending on where, what price point, what neighborhood, it doesn't drop anymore. Here's what I noticed is not dropping much anymore are property that are value add, especially single family property right now. Fixer upper in Seattle, I'm pretty sure like yours, it's already hit rock bottom. If it's not already hit rock bottom, it's gonna be coming there soon, because people are seeing that if you don't buy it, someone else is gonna buy, because why? They make their money in the value add.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're making it up. They know that it's gonna take them 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months to be done. So by the time they sell, right, depending on where it is, they're gonna make money because they bought it at such a low deal. And even if they sell it here, the market is still lower than what it was, they still make money.
Yeah.
And so I noticed by doing a lot of the research, and again, I've gone through this 4 times now, that the fixer-upper have already hit rock bottom or getting close. But the nice house is still coming down. So what I'm buying now is property that I can do a lot of value add. So for example, I buy single family property where if the lot's at least 5,000 square foot, and if it has an opportunity where I can put ADUs on it, I'm buying it. Because number one, there's few people buying it right now. There's few players buying it, and there's no multiple offer right now on those. So if I can get a good deal on a fixer-upper where I can put the ADU on it, the value add on that is humongous, right? And if I got money, if I get enough equity in those deals, which I do, I can refi at a high interest rate and still cash flow. And if I just break even, I'm okay in this market. I'm going to cash flow better when I refinance it later. So that's one. The second thing I'm buying right now is I'm buying property where I get a good deal on it, like these Seattle, where I do townhouses. You know, I can buy these townhouses now at 15-20% lower for the whole lot. And then I'm asking the owner to do seller financing or don't close on it until I get the permit.
Nice.
Because here's the thing. I know from history, a lot of builders got wiped out in 2022 and 2023. When the market comes around again and hard money lenders now is open up to do more lending with better rates and traditional, these builders want to come back in and actually play again. But if they come in, if they buy a raw dirt, they got to wait a year to get permit. Or they can buy my property, already plan a permit at a premium. They can be take off and run, and they can still make money. But if they do their own plan a permit, they make more money. So right now, I'm buying these land property as an owner. Don't close on it, and then I do the plan the permit because it takes a year. So by the time the year comes around, 2024, I'm going to be the guy with a bunch of property with plan the permit, and they can buy it from me.
Yep.
Genius.
Guys, you're watching this, and what you're getting out of this is that real estate is so fun that there's so many ways you can structure a deal, right? And you're talking about seller financing. You're talking about, delay close of escrow until you get your permit. You're talking about, or potentially partner up with the owner who owns a lot that wanted to get in the deal of rezoning and things like that. So there's so many ways that you can actually make money. And a lot of those that we just mentioned there probably don't require any money.
No.
Right? So tell us some of the creative structure deal that you've done lately, or something that you're very proud of because of the margin, because of your creativity in structuring deals.
I did it. I just closed on a deal here about in December. So I own 5-unit row house already, and you probably seen the video I made. And right behind that, I'm doing another 5-unit right now.
Nice.
So we door knocked the owner, and the owner was open to selling it, but he wasn't in a hurry to close because he needed to find a house to actually buy. So I said to them, why don't I buy this? We agreed on the price. I give you $100,000 earnest money, non-refundable, and then let's close it when I get the permit. We'd give you plenty of time to go shopping. And so basically, I got the plan, the permit. I didn't have to go to the bank and borrow the money. I didn't have to put down a big chunk of money. I just had to put up my own plan the permit money, and it closed in December. When it closed in December, I already had the bank loan already lined up because the bank finance plans the permit site. And they just gave me a construction loan right off the bat, and I took off, and now I'm building the property. And I like doing that. And that's real time that's happening. So you're going to talk about taking advantage of the market in real time. That's what I'm doing right now. And here's the great thing about in this market. The media has already trained the owner. The market is slow and the market is down.
Nice.
So if you're a buyer, you're out there buying, you can do delayed closing, you can do seller finance, you can partner with them, you can do a lot of things because there's no competition against you and other people on talking to the seller, especially when you're doing off market. So this is why this market to me is better than a market with low interest rate.
Man, that's freaking awesome, man. I mean, it sounds so advanced, and I think coming from a perspective like mine, where maybe you don't have the funds to try to get your own deal, and then you can try to partner up. I mean, from my perspective, if you're talking to a guy like me, how would I get started? How would I get started on all this?
Yeah. For you can easily go out there and find these sellers, and if they want to sell, if the owner doesn't want to partner, man, you can find good deal. If you find good deal, I'm sure the guy sitting next to you, he or somebody he knows that could buy my property. Yeah. And if they buy it, you can get a good fat wholesale check or a big fat commission. Mm-hmm. So the key right now for everyone listening is to put their running shoes on and get out there and start running and find the deal when all your competitor is still on the sideline waiting for the media to say the market is hot again. But when the media say the hot is market again, the frenzy kicks in, and now the seller ain't going to be very flexible on your turn. Mm-hmm. And now the prices is getting driven because of the frenzy. You don't want to buy in the frenzy. You want to buy when it's not frenzy. That is real seasonal investor thinking.
So you see, that's what Thach is the master of. He knows how to navigate in the confusing type of market. And this is the perfect market because it's giving us so many options. Because when the market was so hot, man, I don't think the seller even want to talk to us, right?
No.
Not even like offer.
And they play you on your offer.
They do. And, nowadays you can sit down and then have it at the dining table and talk about options, seller carryback. I structured a deal where a seller carryback at a 4.5%, 15-year fix.
Nice.
With assumable clause.
Nice.
Now, Thach know how powerful that is, meaning that I can sell that deal anytime now, and the new buyer can pay me the market value, and they cannot go out and get a 4.5%, but they can get it from me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Now, I'm going to add on to that. You couldn't do that in a frenzy market. You'd be lucky to get in the front door, sit down, have tea with them because, look, tell me what you got. Otherwise, don't bother coming over to my house. Because they got 10 other offer right now that's coming in that's way higher. That don't make no sense to an investor. But to a seller, it makes good sense for them because it's good money. How do you buy a good deal in a frenzy market? You don't. Even a traditional buyer have a hard time buying. Mm-hmm. That's why people are so focused on the wrong thing. They focus on high interest rate versus deals right now.
Yeah, so that sounds like that window of opportunity is closing up pretty quick. Closing pretty soon here.
By 24, it's going to end. And it's going to go back into a seller's market again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, what I want to ask you, Thach, is, with all that, I know we know you're grinding, you're trying to get these deals before that window closes. But what does the end result look like for you? Because everybody always talks about, hey, I need this amount of cash flow, and then I'll be good. I'll retire and whatever. But you're still working. I mean, what's the end goal look like for you?
Yeah, financially, I'm good. You know what I mean? I got over $100 million with the real estate today, $100,000 a month in positive cash flow after everything's paid, right? In all the mortgage and everything, right? I'm 52 years old, and right now, I have a 10-year goal right now. By the time I'm 60 years old, is I want to have a lot of my property paid off. I don't want any more debt. I don't want to be at 60, 62 years old and still have, millions and millions of dollars in debt. I don't want to be sitting in a board meeting. I don't want to be sitting in no bankers meeting. I don't want to sit in any of those kind of meetings. I just want to just chill and just live off the cash flow and then teach my kid, teach other people, and still do deal because I like to do deals. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't realize when you get to your 60s and 70s, which is your prime year, who want to be in a banker board meeting with a banker and telling them what's going on with the deal? Who want to sit in a meeting with a bunch of investors, updating investors, what's going on with the deal? Nobody want that. But there's people that don't mind. There's people that love drama and love negativity, love problem. I ain't trying to have no problem. That's why today I don't have investors, right? And so
Nice.
for me is I just want to go and inspire and empower the world today, right? I'm like the Vietnamese Oprah, but I love doing deals, but I'm setting myself up to make sure that I don't have extra self-imposed stress that I don't need. And one of the stress is I don't want to have a gun behind my head when I get into my 60. And the gun meaning I don't want to have a lot of big debt. I want to have a lot of things paid down, right? And I just want to just do it on my own terms. And then after that, teaching my kid how to be part of the business, keep inspiring, empowering people, travel, do deal when I want to do deal, and deal that I like. And that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to keep my life simple.
That is the true financial freedom.
It is. Yeah.
That's the whole reason why we're doing this.
Yeah. Who want to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units and have, hundreds and hundreds of millions worth of debt? And when
Right.
you're in your 60s and 70s, right? And you still have a lot of debt, right? When as soon as the property go vacant, you got to deal with it again.
Yeah, so true, so true. And I feel like that's the evolution, because at this point, at my age, I'm thinking I don't want to be at my 40s and 50s still doing open houses and trying to working with these buyers because they're so damn emotional. And I'm just trying to, move into the listing side, then get my own deals, and then
That's right.
get into that evolution.
And the mindset for you, bro, is right now we want to be thankful for the buyers and the seller, because they are the vehicle to give you the money to move in to the investment opportunity.
Right.
So milk that opportunity you got, appreciate the opportunity you got, and capitalize on it as much as possible, because the more you can capitalize, the sooner and the faster you can get into real estate investing.
So I use your line on before when talking to my team. My selling real estate is to have the rich now,
That's
right? But doing what you're doing is to build wealth, and that's their main goal. That should be the main focus.
That's the end game.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
And here's the thing. I still got a lot of active business that I run. I still have a real estate team that we run.
Right.
Right. I got a coaching company that I run. You know what I mean? I got development that someone I don't keep. I just build to sell. So I still got this going. But again, even just building new construction, I'm part in your area, in my area. They just become more and more stricter every year.
Yep.
The headache of that shit is fucking, you know what I mean? Like my apartment building I just built, I didn't realize when I was building it that the city, right, they wanted me to upgrade the water line, and they wanted to do it with the new code. And that was a surprise to me after we got through so much with this project. And this extra water line extension that I had to do they wanted me to do the earthquake pipe. It cost me an extra probably $200,000 out of left field.
Yeah.
That kind of shit, man. Nobody want to deal when you're in your 60s and 70s.
Yep. Surprises when you do construction is always things. The city keep changing their codes, and they want you to keep up with it. Yeah. So right now, let's just wrap it up with a few things, and then some golden nuggets. I think our listener is someone that I feel get a chance to finally get a summary through this podcast of what when it's all about, and the Springboard program that you're doing, and all the deals that you're showing on your TikTok and videos. Summarize to a few golden nuggets that you feel like the listener can skip all the way to here and get the summary of what they should focus on for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yes. Number one, we're about to start the new 10-year cycle again.
Good.
If this is 2024, if you have an opportunity to buy real estate, own it at the beginning of the 10-year cycle, because you get all this appreciation for the next 10 years. And if you choose to want to sell it at the end of the 10-year, and you'll kill it. But don't wait till the frenzy start telling you the market picking up, and you start buying a property at overpriced, multiple offer in halfway between the 10-year cycle. Then you pay too much, like some of the people who pay too much in 2020, 2021, 2022. And now today, when the market's gone down, they upside down on their property.
Yep.
Right? So if you're going to own real estate, everybody, try to time it now. Try to own it somewhere starting in 2024, maybe 2025. You have a good 10-year of run to have that appreciation. Okay? That's one. The second nugget is this. You can never save more than the appreciation of your real estate.
True.
I just finished building a building. I think I told you 35 unit. I'm all in for $4 million. The bank already appraised it for $6 million. I got instant $2 million equity. Here's what I want to show you. Even if I made no equity in this deal. In Seattle, where I do my business, and I'm sure in some of your area, down there in the Bay Area, we don't even need 10 years. Every 7, 8 years, it doubles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 7 years from now, right now it's 2023. 7 years from now, at 2030, that $6 million will turn into $12 million. I mean, I double another $6 million. I got another $6 million in equity in my building. If I just stop there for a second, there's no way most human beings can work their ass. I don't even care if you're an athlete. You cannot save $6 million in 7 years.
Yeah.
Now, if I go one step further, 2037, that 12 million will go to 24 million. That's $12 million in net worth that I just gained from just, again, letting it ride. Where and who? Most people cannot make the kind of money that can save 12 million in 14 years. So appreciation, if you buy right, the appreciation where you don't have to make the payment, the renter is making the payment, you get the massive appreciation, you get the cash flow, and the biggest thing where most people never talk about, the write-off, in my opinion, is sometimes even bigger than the positive cash flow.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't even touch on the cash flow.
Take away why they should own real estate.
Wow. So that's the top 3 things, y'all. And Thach, once again, man, thank you so much for taking the time out to create this podcast, because we promised you that we're going to get this podcast to the right people, to the right audience that can reach out and help them. And then hopefully the people that are producing this one, John, 24 years old, our goal is to put him in his first house this year. And not only that, John, we're going to use them as a guinea pig to this program, because we want to teach them how to house hack. Because, 24 years old, you don't need all the houses yourself.
No, you don't.
You can house hack it and be able to afford your first home through that program. So
That's right.
Definitely check out Thach Nguyen on all the platforms, TikTok.
All you got to do is Google Thach Nguyen. You're the top 10 search, results already. So, Springboard to Wealth, that's your mentorship program. If you want to learn how to start getting into this right from the man. But yeah, follow him on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Anything else, Thach?
That's it, bro. Just Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. That's it. That's where I live. If you have any questions, hit me up. But yeah, man, it's a pleasure, man. Let me inspire. I can tell you, I don't do a lot of podcasts. I don't do a lot of live speaking. But I only pick and choose which one I want to do if I'm going to do it. So I appreciate this because, I want to represent our Vietnamese people.
Let's go, baby. Just like the sign behind him says, dream big. It's all about the mindset. And appreciate you, man. Let's go.
Definitely appreciate you, bro.
Let's go.
Okay, Cashflow Bros, we signing out.